The most powerful person in the room rarely speaks first. Not because they have nothing to say, not because they are shy, or because they are unsure. It is because they understand something almost no one does. When you speak first, you reveal everything: your position, your intentions, your insecurities, your need for approval. The room watches. Every gesture, every word, every micro-expression is noticed. And in a world ruled by perception, the one who reveals the least controls the most. Silence is not absence, it is observation. It is measurement, it is strategy. When others speak first, they expose themselves. They over-explain, they react emotionally, they create openings. And the person who remains silent? They watch, they wait. They act when the moment is perfect. The power that announces itself is fragile. The power that is felt quietly is unstoppable. Most people lose status in the first 5 minutes of interaction. Not through incompetence, through overexposure. They reveal too much. They explain too quickly. They defend too eagerly. They react too emotionally. For example, in a team meeting, someone speaks first and details their entire plan. They reveal what they want, what they fear, and what they need. And once your needs are visible, your leverage decreases. Colleagues notice gaps and subtly exploit them. The loudest voice is not respected. The silent observer becomes the reference point. Or on a first date, someone overshares personal insecurities immediately. The other person unconsciously tests boundaries, sensing dependence. Attraction and respect decrease instantly. This is the paradox most people never understand. Expression feels powerful, but restraint is powerful. There's a principle often associated with Robert Greene. When you speak less, people assume more. But the deeper mechanism is psychological. Humans are pattern-seeking. When information is missing, we fill the gaps, and we usually fill them with projection. Projection creates mystique. Mystique creates perceived depth, and perceived depth creates authority. Silent power operates on 3 mechanisms. 1. Information control. The one who speaks first limits their strategic options. In negotiation, the first emotional reaction becomes the anchor. In conflict, the first defensive move lowers ground. In social dynamics, the first justification signals insecurity. When you hold information back, you retain flexibility. Flexibility is leverage. 2. Emotional regulation signals rank. Hierarchy is biological before it is social. We instinctively evaluate who remains calm under stress. The nervous system does not lie. The person who reacts quickly signals threat sensitivity. The person who stays composed signals control. Control implies capability. Capability implies leadership. This is not manipulation. It is nervous system discipline. Think of the realism behind thinkers like Niccolo Machiavelli. He did not argue for chaos. He argued for control of perception. Today that translates to control your face, control your tone, control your timing. 3. Strategic uncertainty. Uncertainty creates gravity. When people cannot fully predict you, they become attentive. Attention is the precursor to influence. Predictability lowers perceived value. Measured unpredictability increases perceived depth. This is why the calm person in the room often becomes the reference point. Others adjust their behavior around them without instruction. There is a common misconception. People believe that being agreeable builds respect. It doesn't. It builds comfort, not authority. When you constantly say yes to avoid tension, apologize to maintain approval, or tolerate subtle disrespect, you are signaling one thing: dependence. And dependence lowers your status immediately. We see this in many situations. In the workplace, colleagues who always volunteer for extra work to be liked are often used, not respected. At home, someone who avoids conflict to keep the peace is taken for granted, and their perceived value decreases. If you cannot walk away, you cannot negotiate. If you need validation, you cannot command attention. Boundaries create psychological weight. The moment people sense you are willing to withdraw access, their behavior changes. Not because you threaten them, but because scarcity recalibrates value. There is a fine line here. Silent power is not about manipulation. Manipulation is reactive control. Disciplined power is internal mastery. The insecure person uses silence to intimidate. The disciplined person uses silence to observe. The insecure person withholds to create anxiety. The disciplined person withholds to preserve leverage. One is fear-driven. The other is self-controlled. The distinction matters, because the goal is not to dominate rooms. It is to never lose yourself in them. The most powerful person in the room rarely speaks first. Not because they lack confidence, but because they understand hierarchy is perceptual. Status is not declared. It is inferred, and inference begins with restraint. When you stop reacting impulsively, when you stop over-explaining, when you stop chasing approval, you become harder to read, harder to predict, harder to replace. And in social dynamics, what is hard to replace is hard to challenge. Silence is not emptiness. It is a controlled presence, and controlled presence is power.